A lot of Panthers fans got a tad bit aroused because he looked like he was filling out his jersey a little bit better. Seemed like he gained a couple pounds.
An enlarged Bryce?
Yes. No giddy. But yeah, do y'all care to comment on that? I'll give my opinion first. Happy to see it. I figured that once he got that Southern food in him and got on the weight plan, he would put on a little bit of weight.
Like he didn't come from Alabama.
Yeah, but it just don't hit the same. It just don't hit the same. It doesn't.
I mean, yeah, he's probably on a more
and it's the NFL.
Yeah, I was about to say he's probably on a more compact like eating schedule, workout schedule. So I mean, I'm not surprised. He took a beating last year in the pocket, so it's like if you want to continue to survive that, even though we went and got help, you might want to do something on your part, which working out, getting bigger, that could definitely help out. So I'm not surprised to see he got bigger. I mean, it's cool. It's nice, but I mean, when you say they got aroused, I just don't really like to what extent were.
Oh, they were just excited. They were just, oh my God, Bryce Young is so much bigger. He's this, he's that. Cool. Okay, cool.
I mean, it still has to translate to him throwing the football. So, in that same breath, like, don't get too far ahead of ourselves. I mean, it is nice to see you put on muscle. Like you said, filling out his jersey a little more. It's not going to do anything but help him in the long run, but he still has to be able to throw the football. So,
yeah, absolutely. Comments?
I mean, that's kind of what he's supposed to do as a growing young man. If he's supposed to start to fill out. I mean, he ain't getting any taller, so.
Why was you making all that noise earlier?
What?
Yeah, he was making a lot of noises, so I'm surprised that that's your stance. You were.
Well, no, I was saying that because that was more so about the stance of the Alabama versus the NFL thing, because I was like, I might go out on a limb and say Alabama has a better training facility and might have a better training table than the Panthers just because it's Alabama and their donors, that's all they got. And we know how Alabama show out with their football program. And the Panthers will catch up because they're making these billion-dollar innovations. But at the moment, I just find it kind of hard to believe that the Panthers have a better facility than Alabama. That's it.
I mean, I don't think the facility doesn't have as much to do with it as
the plan itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would agree with you. I think the facilities probably are better because, I mean, our weight room, average. Our locker room, below average. And our practice facility is just what it is. But we'll dive into that a little bit as well because I'm sure y'all seen, the plan for what is to come as it pertains to our training facility, our practice facility. But we'll touch on that a little bit later on. Other than that, yeah, everybody calm down. I know, it's exciting to see them getting bigger, whatever the case may be. Pause. But
they're just grasping for they're looking for any semblance of hope at this point, and it's
sad.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but like, let's calm down a little bit. It was just a picture of Bryce throwing a football.
Yeah, did he even complete the fucking pass? Could that have been like a better conversation? Could we at least see the pass? Like,
that's a great question. That's the question that we should be worried about. But I will say, from OTAs, the 3 days that they've participated in OTAs up until this point, I heard that he was extremely accurate. I heard he was getting the ball out a lot quicker. So it was good news from Bryce Young as it pertains to the beginning of OTAs. So obviously that's exciting and relieving to hear. However, it's just the beginning. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm getting fucked up today.
You might have had too many drinks down there. Lost some cells.
No cap, bro.
Fell out in that Long Island ice.
Oh my God, yeah, it got wicked. It got wicked. But yeah, like let's just calm down. Let's just relax. This happens with it every single year, and more times than not, it's about performance within training camp or whatever. But none of that shit matters until we get onto that field.
Just real quick, while we're actually on the topic of Bryce, I just kind of want to put this question out there, right? If for whatever reason, Caleb Williams turns out to be dog shit, how does that make you all feel about the trade for Bryce? And Bryce Young improves drastically this year. How does that make y'all feel about the trade now?
Go. I would like to hear your opinion first.
I mean, even if Caleb would, What?
No, I was just gonna say, and I prefaced this based off that report that came out of training camp. That's what made me
Yeah.
About Caleb Williams giving the ball
up 7 times on 7 plays.
Well, one, we don't even know if we were in that position where we had picked Caleb Williams because you know how our front office is. Two, I think it would still depend on how Bryce does. Like, so I mean, it can go hand to hand. Like, if Caleb Williams has a terrible year and Bryce has a terrible year as well, then it's like, I mean, you still got Dick, but like Bryce will have to drastically improve from last year for me to be like, oh, like that trade didn't really matter, because we, in that same breath, we would still have to give Caleb Williams the same, like, well, no, not really.
No.
It depends, because he does have a lot more weapons, but I mean, people are still going to say he's a rookie. He's in his first year, so you still have to give him time to progress, and that's going to be the excuse that's thrown out, even though he has a bunch of weapons. Because, like I tell Smooth, he's a Bears fan. Like, Caleb Williams going to be this, he's going to be that. I'm like, bro, he has all of these weapons, but he's still a rookie quarterback.
Right.
Like, there's going to be some hiccups in the road. So, I don't know. That didn't maybe not directly answer the question, but it just depends on how bad Caleb Williams is and how good or bad Bryce is.
Right, but that was the premise of the question was, if Caleb Williams is dog shit and Bryce Young improves drastically, then how do you feel about the trade?
I mean, I guess I would just, yeah, it wouldn't be a bad trade in that sense.
I don't think it changes anything for me personally, because I don't think that the trade was that bad. I don't think that you can predict that you're gonna go up, draft a number 1 overall quarterback in the NFL draft, and still end up with a number 1 pick the following season. Like, a lot of people, that context is lost. Like, we didn't know we were gonna have 1 overall. So what would have happened if we would have had 123, something like that? Like, it's just like, I mean, cool, but I think it's gonna be the thing with Bryce Young is, you know, and this might sound crazy coming from me, but you have to give him time to develop, and you have to give him time to adjust. So you have year 1 under your belt at this point. So now year 2, we need to see improvement. So, but by the time we get to year 3 and 4, then we'll kind of understand and know better if we quote unquote won that trade, or if we got fleeced. How a lot of people say, I don't believe we got fleeced, and we got compensation back this year in the draft. So I mean, that trade, a lot of people like talking about it because, you know, back-to-back number 1 overall picks in consecutive drafts. But to me, it gets kind of gassed up. And I think that the Carolina Panthers did what they needed to do at that particular time. I feel like we made some shit shake, which is something that we don't really see with this organization. And I think the Chicago Bears did what they needed to do. And fortunately for them, they got the number 1 overall pick, but to me, it's nothing really. This trade, I'm tired of hearing about it, just to be fully transparent. Like, and just my hatred for the Bears, I hope that Caleb Williams is ass. But, I mean, it's going to be hard to be ass when you have Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet, DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift. Like, I feel like it's going to be difficult to not succeed. And it's kind of like the argument that people make with C.J. Stroud. Like, C.J. Stroud went to a much more favorable situation. He went with a better coach, with DeMeco Ryans, that had a better system, that had better weapons overall. So, you know, it's just like, cool, you take from that what you want. But until we see year 3, year 4, year 5, Bryce Young, I don't think that we get that answer. I think that answer is a TBD for much longer than a lot of people would want it to be, or a lot of people expect it to be, because – I mean, like I said, I expect Caleb Williams to go crazy this year, because how do you not? How do you not?
Yeah, and
There's a way.
And this is one other thing.
Not to cut you off, my apologies, but we also don't know how true that report is, because I saw like one person reported on that, but we don't know how true that shit is. Simple as that.
And I would say also, to go along with that, the last thing I'm gonna say about it is, the Carolina Panthers, like you said, they did what they were supposed to do. You went, traded up for the number 1 pick, and you picked who everyone said was the best quarterback on the board. Nobody expected C.J. Stroud. He had a record-breaking rookie year. Like, nobody expected that.
Yeah.
So it's like you went and did what you're supposed to do. And if we didn't, then fans will still have something to say. So it's like either way you look at it.
There was a debate for who was the best quarterback, but I do get where you're coming from because and JJ were
experts. The experts said that Bryce Young was hands down the best quarterback in the draft.
Yeah, Mel Kiper can go jerk it in a corner somewhere. Nobody cares what his expert opinion is anymore.
Fair enough.
Just to be real, but like, like I think me and JJ was on that camp of like CJ being better, but like we're not gonna rehash that old conversation. I just thought it was an interesting question and like some good food for thought just based off of that initial report that Caleb is kind of struggling. He's struggling to find his rhythm, his timing, and his understanding. And then you kind of look at the film of Caleb, and a lot of his highlights are like off-schedule plays, kind of like helter-skelter. He actually has a really bad tendency to hold on to the ball for a long time in a lot of his highlights. So
yeah, because you can see when they played good teams that shit didn't really fly like that.
Right.
And the game is a lot faster in the NFL as well.
Too. Because I rewatched his tape from USC and Notre Dame, and Sam Hartman just flat out outdueled him.
Yeah.
Which is Sam Hartman went undrafted. So, that's just kind of – I just thought it was interesting, though.
Yeah, and also, to add more context to that, it's like how we always talk about, or how I always bring up the fact that, like, it's unfortunate for Bryce because – you went number 1, C.J. Stroud went number 2. Mm-hmm. And so now, even a year later, you're going to be put in the same box and position and compared to the guy that you were more or less traded for in Caleb Williams. So for the rest of your career, you will be attached to this guy. So, it's an unfortunate situation, but like I always say on this podcast, and Terrence sometimes snickers at me, if he is what people say he is, I believe that he'll have the ability to overcome that, and I think we'll see a significant amount of progression from Bryce Young this season with the addition of weapons that we brought in.